Everybody, Garrett Grumley here with D2T Train. If you feel like you're like stuck in a rut in your life, right? You're just working like a dead end job, and maybe it's like making you decent money, but you're just not where you thought you'd be at this point in your life. Like, first off, join the club, and second off, I read a book the other day, and I think it's probably the best book that you could possibly. I'm not just saying this. I would any friends or family. I would suggest this book first because it gives you like really easy, actionable things that you can do, and I'm doing it in audiobook because I don't like reading. So I'm doing an audiobook form, but it's called 12 Pillars, and it basically tells you like the 12 things you have to do in your life to really like get going. And the first pillar is work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And the reason you want to do that is because if you're a salesperson, lots of people will say, you know, oh, I work really hard at my job and I've, been a really hard worker for like the past 15 years at the same company. I'm just not really where I thought I would be. And you can only make so much money if you never really become a better salesman. You might work really hard, but how much have your skills really improved in the last 10 or 15 years? And for most people, their skills don't drastically improve. They might be a little bit better, they might be a little bit more efficient, but they're not drastically better. But think about all the books and access to information that's so readily and easily available nowadays. There's no reason that your skills as a salesman can't skyrocket in 15 years. But rather than bettering yourself, you just spend that time working, and then you get home from work and you just, watch TV or hang out, and you never really work on bettering yourself. You just go to work, come home, and you kind of just stay the same salesperson. And so if you really want to advance in your career, the first pillar in this book is work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And I don't think in the book, they don't discuss this, but I don't think they mean you have to like work more hours on yourself than you do at your job, because on average you go to work 8 hours a day, and it would be very hard to come home and then like read 8 hours. But it's harder to have the discipline to go to work for 8 hours, come home, and then read 2 hours of a book, or wake up early and work out before you go to work. It's kind of easy to kind of do what you have to do. It's hard to go out of your way to better yourself and do the things that aren't necessary but are still like required in order to get you to where you want to be. And so the very first pillar of this book, work harder on yourself than you do at your job, I think is like the best piece of advice. And it's probably the reason it's pillar number one. It's the best piece of advice for people in America nowadays, because so many people like feel like they're stuck and they're like, I don't know like what I'm doing. It's like, okay, when was the last time you tried to increase your skill sets? Like, there is so much information that you can so easily learn. Why not go out and learn stuff? And then if you can do that, then if you do that for 5 years, like, it's not going to pay off overnight. But if you do that for 5 years, you're going to be a drastically different person 5 years from now. And then you'll be able to like go out and get a job and be like, oh, maybe I started an online business, or I took this course, or now I know how to do this, or you get like a side hustle, or do like some consulting, or I don't know. There's so many different things you can do. And instead of doing those things, people just say, I'm not really good at that. And they just talk themselves down, and, guilty as charged. But I'm going to start really focusing on bettering myself and working on improving like kind of all aspects of my life going forward, because my inability to do that in the past has started to like catch up with me. Like, I'm 32 years old, and I feel like I'm now like kind of at that point in my life where probably most people, when I was younger and I was like, oh, what am I going to be doing at 32? I didn't think this, and kind of is a bummer to say out loud. But, I'm old. The other thing, the flip side of that is I'm 32. I'm not old. I'm 32. Everybody when they're 16 is like, oh, 32, you're really old. And I'm not just saying this, but like, there's a reason that people when they're 50, 60, 70, they look at you when you're 32 and they're like, dude, you're not old. You're not old. And I'm not, And even if you're like 40 or 50, you're still not like old. Like, if you want to do something different as a 50-year-old, you could work on yourself for 5 years, be 55, retire at like 70. You still have 15 years. You could do what you want to do for 15 years, for the last 15 years of your life. Or you could stay where you are and just hate the last 15 years of your work. It's like, it's up to you. And I've gotten to a point in my life now where like, I really want to be a better father. I want to be a better husband. And I'm a good husband and a good father, but like, I can be great. Like, I can be a really, really good person. And I know that, but I don't put in the work to make that happen. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people aren't told when they're younger is, at least maybe not so much in my generation. It's like, I don't know. A lot of people just like nowadays, people my age, roughly my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older, they watch too much Netflix, watch too much TV, scroll too much social media, addicted to the wrong things. And, they're not reading, they're not bettering themselves on a daily basis. And it's not like, imagine if you just read for an hour a day for 10 years. Like, you'd be a drastically different person. If you did like an hour of reading a day and then went to a seminar once a month, like on whatever you want, like it could be like computer programming or a sales seminar or I don't know, networking seminar or whatever. It could just be lots of different things, but you do one seminar a month and then read for an hour a day. You'd be a drastically different person in 10 years. But people don't do that because it takes like time to build. And I'm in the same camp, but I'm going to start changing that because my wife and I recently had a conversation, and my inability to like really structure my life and follow through on the things that I say I'm going to do has like really started to catch up with me. And I want more. Like I want more, and I know I can have it. And the cool thing about being married is it like really pushes you to be better. And the cool thing about being a parent is it really pushes you to be better, because I want my kids to look at me. I want my son to look at me and be like, that's a man. I want him, like, because when he grows up, he's going to know. Like right now, he doesn't see all the flaws in me, but when he's older, he will. And I want to have as little flaws as I can, because I want, like, it makes me emotional to like think about this. I want him to look at me and be like, Dad, you're a good man. And if I can do that, whew, man, that would be super, super cool. And I want my wife to be like, hey, I'm so glad I married you. Like, there's no other person on the earth I'd want to be with. And that's kind of true now. But I want it to be like, when she talks to other people about me, she's like, my husband's like really good. Like, he dates me all the time. He makes me feel special. Like, she deserves that. She's my princess. She's my amazing, awesome wife, who frankly gave me 2 kids. Like, I owe that to her a million times over for giving us the most beautiful, beautiful life, giving us a family. And I want to do that. So I'm going to be really working hard to bettering myself. And so these videos on Sunday are going to be about bettering myself, how you can better yourself, me going through my journey, documenting all of it, and just being like super positive, because there can be like, there's a lot of downsides in life right now, but there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful and a lot of reasons to be thankful. And I want to make sure that I'm not just like being this doom and gloomer, because that's not how I'm living my life. And so I don't want it to come across that way. And I also want people who do watch my videos to realize that, like, listen, watch some videos. I think it's important to know what's going on in the world. I don't agree with people who are like, oh, I just tune it out because like there's nothing I can do about it anyway. I just personally, and I can go into that in a different video, but I don't like doing that personally. But you have to put it in its place. And it's true, there's only so much you can do about it. So focus on yourself, focus on what you can change, which is yourself. And you can make drastic changes in that arena very, very quickly. And that's what I plan on doing. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm also going to bring in religion, talk about that, and just be positive and like document this whole journey. And I'm really excited. This is like, frankly, this is probably going to be the video that I look forward to all week. And yeah, so just summarize real quick. 12 Pillars by Chris Widener. Work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And if you start doing that today, imagine where you'd be in 5 years. And if you don't start doing that today, imagine being you in 5 years and being like, if I had just watched one less hour of Netflix a day, imagine where I'd be. Imagine how much more I would have learned. So hopefully this is maybe a little bit of motivation for some people. Go out, get after it. Be the person that you know you are meant to be. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not happening for me. Like, I just started. I'm right in this. I got a lot of work to do. But if you want to join me, shoot a comment down below. And I don't know, let me know maybe if you have an idea of how you want to better yourself and what you think you can do. But like, subscribe to this video, please. And I'm not great about asking for that, but I need to get better going forward, because I really want people to kind of like get this message. And until next time, stay safe, live free, work hard, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.